Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. If you're watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunt Hangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunt Hangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into Stunt Hangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. That's courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of Stunt Hangar, will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in and just enjoy watching this on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. You can enter your questions or comments in the chat box over here. I'll do my best to make your comments and questions a part of the show. And I understand sometimes even I can't get a word in myself, so be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comment. And by the way, you only can do this during a live stream. So like I said earlier, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if you find the Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos, the contest coverage videos that Sparky does on this platform, informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Please subscribe, share, comment on the videos. That helps the Stunt Hangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunt Hangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, I'm a member myself. I have the $4.99 come out of my own checking account. I don't miss it, and I expect you won't miss it either. Plus, you'll be supporting your hobby, your passion. I hope it's a passion of yours, like me, and you'll be supporting this hobby. And your support helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunt Hangar. Now, if you don't want to do the monthly subscription of $4.99 a month, and you want to do more, there's some higher numbers above that. There's two more tiers above that. But if you're not into the subscription, you can do the super chat, which is located below the chat box. There's like a big $sign, and you click on that and donate any amount you like. Hopefully you see the value that we're bringing, and hopefully you're benefiting and learning from this programming and see that you need to contribute something inclined to what you get in return. And if you are watching this as a replay, the super chat goes away. So I think there's a thing called super thanks. You might have to hit 3 buttons or 3 dots, I think, when you watch the replay, and you can donate that way as well. So now, if you want to get in touch with me, understand that this is Sparky's YouTube channel. So if you comment or have questions here, I won't get them. I usually don't come back to Stunt Hangar until the next scheduled broadcast. So if you go to my YouTube channel, because this is not mine, if you go to mine, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt, let me repeat that for you. It's Flying Control Line Stunt. And if you locate that, please locate the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which is a video that Sparky shot with his video camera, me flying his beautiful Junar. And it was orange back then, and now it's white with some orange trim. And if you comment or share or anything, I'll be notified because that's my YouTube channel. Plus, it's a really good way to get in touch with me because I will respond to you quickly once I get a notification on my phone. On Sparky's channel, I don't get any notifications. Sparky gets them, but Sparky's always spinning lots of plates. So I don't know. I'm sure he'll get to it eventually, but if you want to get in touch with me, that's the best way to do it. And I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't say or do around your own children or grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'm now going to post a link at Stunt Hangar Forum. Let me go there right now and make my way. Let me do this too. Let's see here, just give me a second here. There we go. That's fine. And that is sent. And let me go to the Stunt Hangar Forum and post the link. So please keep hitting refresh. All right. It is there right now. It's titled Stunt Hangar Video Hangout Friday, December 15th, 2023. And so you should be good. Now let me make my way to the what I call the control panel, making my way to YouTube. And let me go there right now. And let's see your YouTube studio. Hope everybody had a good week. I went out flying today and it started off as a beautiful day. I mean, I was like, wow, this is absolutely beautiful. And then it turned ugly. I mean, it got windy. I think they're called Santa Ana winds, and they started coming from the west. And whenever the wind comes from the west, it doesn't seem to do well for me. I like when it comes, when it comes from the east. I don't really care for it. When it comes from the west, southwest, it's great. I can pretty much handle, maybe 10, 15 miles an hour from the southwest, but even 8 miles an hour from the east is turbulent, swirly air, and it's just wreaks havoc on my airplane. So I'm in the control panel. I see that we have 11 concurrent viewers, 7 likes. Let me do one thing real quick here, just to get this so that we can proceed here. And that's done. Great. And let me see here. Looks like Gary Sinclair is the first one in the chat box. He says, and he's also a member of our YouTube channel. I can tell by the moniker next to his name. And he also has the blue wrench, which is indicative of the monitor. So he can delete, blot you out in the chat box if you are a troll. So thank you, Gary, for your support. And then Marcel Legrand says, hi, Charles and everyone at Stunt School. I'm just watching that guy flying his twin profile on your channel, Charles. Yes, that was a neat plane. The Epiphany. It's a Pat Johnson design. If you go to Pat Johnson's website, I'm not sure what the particular characters are for that, but yeah, I actually like that. As a matter of fact, he has a twin where it's all built up, all the nacelles and the fuselage is built up, and that is an equally impressive plane. But yeah, I love twins. I've flown one twin, and I really can't describe how it feels, but it just you get there's a big prop disc between the two, and you can't match that with a single engine. So the prop blast going over the wing on a twin you can't replicate it, and it just has so much lift, and it's just amazing how the plane feels going through the maneuvers. Like it's not going to stall, it's not going to slow down, it's going to go, and it's unique. Hey, Bart Kopinski, how are you doing? You're muted, Bart. You must have I don't know if your mic is plugged in or if you can unmute it. Unfortunately, I can't unmute you. I can mute you, but I can't unmute you. And it looks like Mark Lumen says, got you liked and happy birthday. And he's a member of our YouTube channel. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it very much. And Colin McCallum, he gave us a super chat, $19.99. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Colin McCallum. Appreciate that immensely. I don't take you for granted at all. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And Marcel Legrand says, I will send you a pic of mine. Very good. You have a twin, Marcel Legrand? I look forward to seeing it. Is that the, my guess is it was a twin Pathfinder. I don't know. Hey, Bart, you're not muted anymore. Great. I can probably hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. How you doing, Bart?
I think we're good.
We are good. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Sure.
So how you feeling? Feeling better?
I'm feeling pretty good now. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing you I'll need to talk to you. I can't come until on my way home, so we'll fix it up.
All right, no problem.
Yeah,
No problem at all.
looking forward to it.
Very good. I look forward to it. And Gary Sinclair, I don't know. I guess he had to back out. I wonder if he's having problems getting in. I wonder if there's a system going through where he lives. So I went flying today, Bart, but man, after I first got there, I was like, this is unbelievable. It's beautiful weather, fair winds, and actually in the 70s, beautiful.
Oh, great.
And
Yeah.
then the wind started coming up, and it started really blowing. Like we got the
Oh, yeah.
winds from Arizona, like the Santa Ana winds.
Well,
So
I don't know if they come from Arizona. They might come from Arizona. We get blamed for everything. Yeah, we've got a high front supposed to be coming through here, I think, from Northern California, I believe.
yeah,
I haven't looked at the weather.
Supposed to get rain
I
next
think
week too. So I think I'm going to get part of that system as well.
Yeah, probably.
Let me welcome the original Steve Smith in St. Louis. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing great. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And
Oh,
Gary,
yeah. Happy
in.
birthday.
Oh, thank you, Bart. Appreciate it. Yeah, number 66.
Oh, you're just a puppy.
Yeah, yes.
In this hobby, I am just a puppy, that's for sure.
I'm just about ready to go to 81.
Yes. Wow, fantastic. Well, I hope to be flying as good as you do when you're at 81. No, that's a really big dream.
I'm not flying so good anymore, but I need to get a good airplane one of these days and go out and really work at it.
Yeah, you do. You'd absolutely you need to.
Yeah.
And Terry Mitchell says, like sent. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you, Terry Mitchell. And hey, Gary, we need to do a little bit more proofreading, but we'll get it done. But thank you very much for all your hard work. Looking
Did
really
you get
good.
my text? Yeah, did you get my text?
I've been so busy today. Today's a busy day.
Big day.
Yeah, see here. Yes. I see the yes, I did look at it, but really quickly and briefly. So we'll go through it in greater detail, but small stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Just teeny stuff. Let me see here. So Steve, matter of fact, I had a question for you, Steve.
Okay.
Like on the outside squares,
Yeah.
when you finish that last corner, some people will do something to signify the end.
Not necessary.
Not necessary. Okay.
Yeah,
Now, what if
I see that a lot, but it really doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's not judged. They're done.
Right. Now that maneuver is done at what point? Is it that last corner or
that last not the last corner.
The corner that brings you to horizontal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Say that one more time. You guys stepped on each other's words.
Oh, sorry. The first corner is a dive.
Right.
And you go around twice. And it's when you go past the point of the original dive, you're done.
Okay. All right. Now I imagine it's a small
agree,
demerit
Bart?
if what?
You agree, Bart?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good. It looks good if you can nail that corner and just dip it a little. But it's not necessary.
It's not part of the maneuver, so
that's correct. I agree.
I'm not judging it. I'm sorry.
Right.
It might look cool, but
it looks cool. That's all.
yeah, it can. So you did some flying today, Charles?
I wanted to. I went out to fly, and the wind came up. And when it comes from the east, it's really turbulent air because I think the buildings and there's a lot of interference before it gets to the flying field.
Yeah.
By the time it comes over where I fly at, it's not manageable. It's no fun to fly. I mean, I got the outboard wingtip waving high to me, and when ordinarily, even from the wind from the southwest, even if it's the same miles per hour, I don't get any of that. Wing walking.
Yeah,
I don't get that. But it's just from that comes came from the east, northeast, as a matter of fact, and
That's
so
a
I
Santa
just
Ana type wind. It's going to be bad before it gets to you.
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
it's
we had
just,
winds from the east and the south the past couple days, which at Booter is not too bad. And got some flying in yesterday and today.
oh great.
Yeah. Did a little playing around with a ringmaster today and test flew a twister that had been rebuilt. This is the other Steve Smith and his cousin.
Okay.
And yesterday I got 4 flights in on the Vector and it was reasonable. Today I only got 1 flight. And then I screwed up and put the same battery back that I had just
Oh,
taken. That's the second time I've done that in a couple of years now. I check with my meter, and I guess I set the wrong one down by the plane, and luckily I got through the outside squares before the ESC dropped the RPM. So that was it. I was done, and the wind was getting a little weird. So I think next Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday we may have another opportunity here,
All
but
right.
it's been too bad.
Now did Sparky go out with you?
No, no.
So no maiden, no
I
maiden
can't get
flight.
him to go out unless it's 70 degrees. If it's in the 50s, good for me, good for Mark Hughes, good for the other Steve, but not for Sparky.
Well,
Not
we'll
for
get that
Dan
maiden.
McEntee either.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get a chance to see that maiden flight of Simply Blues.
I don't know. If we get a 70-degree day, maybe.
Well, that's a pretty plane. I don't blame him. It better be really nice weather before I put that plane in harm's way.
We did have a club meeting Thursday evening, and there's a lot of changes at Booter Park. County's going to take over the permits, and they're going to run them up to $90 a year. And they're going to start charging $100 a day for contests. So we had to make some decisions, but luckily they won't have the new system in place until maybe March. And we have our isolated contest the last weekend, the last Sunday of February. They said, well, just go ahead and do it. We're not ready, so
Oh,
no
good.
charge. So we're going to go ahead and have that. The first official contest of 2024, I think.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Hey, I got a super chat. Another one from Gary Sinclair. Well, thank you, Gary. 20
Welcome.
bucks. Happy birthday. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Gary. Appreciate it. And let me see here. Dennis Adamison, who's a member of our YouTube channel. I forgot to mention that Mark Lumen is a member of our YouTube channel as well. I can tell by the monikers. I can tell those who are our supporting patrons. So can Sparky. And then Dennis Adamison is also a member of our YouTube channel. He said like delivered. And John Skukulek, who's also a member of our YouTube channel, gave us a like. And then Marcel Legrand says, happy birthday, Mark. So I don't know if it's Mark's birthday. Mark, is it your birthday too? I know it's Caffeine's birthday today, who's a regular visitor to our channel, and also it's my birthday today. But if you meant that for me, thank you very much, Marcel Legrand. Appreciate it. And then Philip Bailey said like provided. Thank you, Philip. And let me see here.
Hey,
And so,
Denny looks like that guy across the fence in Tim Allen's show, Tool Time. All we can see is his eyes.
maybe just lower the camera, Dennis, so we can see a little bit below your nose. All you getting is your
I
head
didn't
and your
think you
nose.
guys would be complaining about that. But,
Kilroy.
There he is.
thought you might
Yeah.
consider that to be kind of a good thing. That
Got to get rid of your headphones and get a hat.
There we
Hey,
go.
there we go.
There
Now
we
we
go.
can
Got the
see his
whole great
smile.
face. Awesome. So thank you for coming in, Gary. I know you and I have been talking, so let me go ahead with, I think the next person in was Lynn Burrell. Hey, Lynn, how you doing? Thanks for coming in.
Len's
you're muted.
muted.
Delinsky.
Oh, you're still muted, Lynn.
Len, you're muted.
Belinsky.
Yeah, just
There
saying
you go.
hi, guys. How's everybody doing?
Doing well. How about yourself,
Good.
Lynn? What you been up to?
Good. I've been working hard on the Nobler. Got the wing completely finished now. The flaps are on it temporarily. The cabin elevators I worked on today and got them finished and sanded out. Got them down about under an ounce, so we're in good. We're happy.
You got what unannounced? What was that again?
The elevators and the stab and elevators, I think the total weight, including the horn, is like an ounce and a half.
Wow. Well, that's pretty good.
I'm pretty happy with that.
I bet. That's really good.
I'm gunning for the 40 ounces. That's what I'm doing.
Very, very good. And then I think Sparky came in after you, Lynn. Hey, Sparky, thanks for coming in. How you doing?
I'm all right. Just working on my profile
All right.
every day.
You know, one thing I forgot to mention, we have this contest called Isolated at the end of February. That was actually started by Sparky on his birthday.
Very good.
How long ago was that, Bob?
Gotta be 20 years
Yeah.
or better. It's more than 20 years.
And now you won't even come out for
More like 30 because
it.
it's been close to 30 years ago.
Wow.
Wow. You remember how many people came up to the first contest? I mean, how did it
Lots.
start off? A lot?
Lots.
Oh,
It
that's great.
used to be a popular contest because it was midway in the year, and they'd come out and we put wrap around the pagoda and put a big salamander in there, and everybody heat up and stand underneath the awning, and it was all right. I just can't hang with the cold anymore.
Yeah, that happens.
well,
You
you
never
just need to
know. I
move
mean,
your birthday into August then.
That's right.
we've had temperatures as high as 70 and as
90.
low as the teens.
90. I've seen it 90 in February,
Oh my.
Wow.
but that was back in early 90s.
That was before global warming, huh?
Right.
I got, let me have some comments in the chat box. Let me catch up. Gordon Jack says, like delivered. Thank you, Gordon Jack. Appreciate it. And Frank's Model Aviation Workshop, he says, happy birthday, Charles. Thank you very much, Frank. And thanks for coming in. And then Philip Bailey says, happy birthday, Charles. Thank you, Philip. Appreciate it. Marcel Legrand says, sorry, Charles. I meant happy birthday to you. I thought so, Marcel. Thank you, Marcel. And then Terry Mitchell says, hey, Denny, what's your recommendation on props for electric motors?
I think they should have them.
You could spend all night
Hey
talking
Terry,
about that.
hey Terry, can you narrow the parameters down a little bit? What airplane you got? What motor? What are you looking for? Did he say what?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Let's know what motor, Terry.
Or what airplane? Just something like that.
And Middlesex Modelers, that's Al Fierro. He gave us a super chat of $19.99. He says, happy birthday. Thank you, Al. Appreciate that. Wow, this is one of the best nights I've had in a long time. We have 3 super chats, Sparky.
All right.
It'll be a month before we get them, but that's good.
Yeah, but I still appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then Mark Gerber, I think you came in next. Mark, how you doing?
Good, Charles. How are you?
Doing well. I see you got your Colorado shirt on.
Yeah, Colorado State.
All right. All right. Very
I
good.
got my Mark Gerber hat on.
I see that.
Yes.
I see that.
Cool. Very cool. So, Mark, what you been up to?
Well, I've been measuring some more propellers.
Did you receive the what you got from Denny?
Denny sent me a whole shoebox full.
Fantastic.
So I think
There's
most of you remember that I set up this apparatus to measure the inertia of a propeller. And
Right.
it's supposed to turn, but it's not. Come on. Well, anyway, this thing turns and the wire, twists it back and forth, and the propellers with more inertia rotate more slowly, and the propellers with less inertia rotate pretty fast. So
Wow. Go ahead.
Dennis sent me a whole box of different electric propellers.
all right.
Oh,
What I
cool.
want to know is, once you have this information, what good is it? What do you do with it?
Well, I'm still looking at it. For one thing, lower inertia, you have less yaw when you do a sharp turn. So that's good.
If you're using an active timer system, one that changes the RPM, then the lighter the prop weight, the less of a power spike you should see every time you demand, an RPM change. And if you're trying to go from fast to slow, the lower inertia prop should respond more quickly. If you're running a Fox 35 and again, you're trying to run a 424 brake on it, if you're using an old rev up prop that's fairly light and low inertia, it's going to respond differently than if you're using a modern heavy APC prop. And what's it matter? I don't know. It's like it's a piece of information that's we've never had. It's kind of intuitive that there must be something going on there. And I think what Mark's work here is doing is he's putting numbers on some of this, and the next step will be to try to figure out, what we can learn from it. But I think it's a creative piece of work there, and you're right, Sparky. It's not. I don't know exactly what decision I'm going to make based on it just yet. But let's see how the data plays out and take it from there.
Kind of put the prop on the airplane that works the best. It doesn't matter what the inertia is.
Well, it'll explain why one 12.6 works and the other 12.6 doesn't, maybe. And things like that, or one seems to overload the motor and one doesn't. And then again, that's a gas or glow thing. So
Anyway, this is the sample set that Dennis gave me this week. And I don't know, Dennis, you want to explain what these are? I'm not that familiar with the APCs.
yeah, let's start off all the way on the right. The gray one, of course, is an AP. Everything I sent him was an electric prop, and just about everything I sent was a pusher. Made a great assumption there that pushers and tractors are the same.
I think they all were.
And the neat thing about APCs is that everybody who's flying an electric is probably using has used an APC prop. They're available all over. And I was able to send them a range from 7-inch to 13-inch. So it's pretty wide range there, beyond, the what most of us are using. The black prop there is a badass prop, which is a Zor, apparently made out of beechwood. They're a little softer and lighter, a lot lighter than the APCs. And a lot of us have started using them because, well, they're light enough to affect the CG of the airplane, but they're actually very, very quiet, and they don't change notes when you do square corners and stuff. The next one over is a gem fan, which I think was a prop designed for quadcopters. And these are carried by Innovative, who of course carries most of the electric motor stuff. I thought it was interesting because you can take a look at that blade area.
I see it.
That's a very, very wide prop. And I've got some, I haven't got around to using them yet. They're all relatively low pitch. It's a wood prop, so it's relatively light, but the fact that it's big, so much bigger than the badass and stuff. I think Mark's data is going to show that there is a a difference in the weight and the inertia on that.
Like a Y and
Finally,
O,
the one
huh?
where you can see all the carbon fiber in, that was, I'm not even sure what the make was. It was it was a generic Chinese make, I guess. I'm not even sure who I got it from. I think possibly Jeff Traxler. And it is the lightest propeller I've ever seen. It's an 11.6. It's basically about 2 layers of carbon with with enough resin to hold it together. It's got a very thin, small hub.
Very thin
I've
blade
been
too.
reluctant to try it because the hub is so thin. It looks like it doesn't look like it would hold up. Although
They
I
work.
know Matt Newman has used them in a 13-inch size, and that prop I think Marco pointed out. I think Mark, that was about the lightest and lowest inertia prop of the whole bunch, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's got the record so far.
Yeah. So that's why I thought it was an interesting one. It's kind of puts one border on you. And then I did send them a one special APC. It's a wide blade APC 12.6.5 that is the heaviest prop I've ever seen on an electric airplane. It's a prop that I asked APC to make us some 3 blades, and they're reluctant. They don't like making 3 blade props. They have a hard time balancing them and getting their process centered and stuff. But the APC has been making props for the iMac guys that are 2-bladed props, and they use a very wide blade design on that. And they said that at least in the iMac applications, they get people using the 2-blader and it behaves. It's interchangeable with a 3-blade prop from other people and stuff. So I asked them to make us a prop like that. Problem is, it was a 12.6 prop that weighs something like 35 grams. Right, so it was like easily 50% heavier than a normal 12.6. And yes, they seem to pull real hard, but my gosh, I think they're a heck of a load on the bearings and stuff. And I'm sure, Mark, were you able to test that one?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we'll see that when he gets to his charts.
The other thing is that, this is really not the whole story, because the electric, you got the part of the motor turning as well. So this is just the propeller part of the inertia.
Yeah, I think I have to figure that out, but there's probably something to be said for sending you a bunch of motor bells or something like that and seeing if you could just test the whole thing as a unit or something like that.
Yeah, if you could send me the part of the motor that rotates, or I could take it apart.
Yeah. So at any rate, that's since I had a collection of props and Mark actually asked for them, and I sent him a note with be careful what you ask for. So I think there was 16 or 17 props in the box. So
Yeah, something like
busy.
that. So I took all the data. So this is all my data I've taken for the last 2 weeks now. So I've got about 30 props in here with the regular APCs, the electric APCs, the regular props I showed the data on last week for glow motors, and then the badasses and the gym fans that Dennis sent me. And so here's the data that I showed last week with the glow motors. The APCs were up here, and the 3 blades were in here, and then the 2-blade carbon fiber, and then the rev up wooden ones were down here in the bottom. So here are the electric propellers. They go down some more. The gym fans here are the badasses here on the bottom. And they're the lowest ones. I tried to plot all this in one graph and it just got too confusing. So you can kind of switch back and forth, but you can see that the rev ups here go about from about 1250 down to just below 500, and the badasses are a little bit lower than that. And then here's the champion propeller that Dennis was talking about, that really light one. came in here. It's the lowest one for an 11 incher that we've seen. And I think this is your APC.
Yeah, that's got to be that big heavy APC.
Yeah. It's way up here, but it's not that much worse. It's not even worse than the glow motors. Well, I guess it is on the inertia side. I didn't have a 12-inch APC for glow, but it's right up there with
Yeah.
some of the heaviest ones.
Yeah. Can you
Most
go back to the
inertia.
glow props for just a second?
Sure. Whoops, where'd I go here?
Ah,
There you go.
okay. Sparky, you were asking about, what's important and everything like that. I mentioned a Fox 35. You might have run with a Rev Up 10.6. Been a, beautiful prop for a Fox 35 with the inertia, gram cm squared under 500. And, take that APC and just kind of imagine it would have been basically double, the inertia of the prop would have been twice as high for a modern APC that, versus an old rev up. All right. I think it really, if you're compared at 11 inches, you can see it, if the prop has twice as much inertia, when that Fox goes 4.2, it's going to respond very poorly. It's going to, it might change sounds from a 4-stroke to a 2-stroke, but it's not going to be spinning up any faster is what it amounts to, because the prop is going to have a lot of inertia on it.
How do
And
you
with a
know
glow
without
motor
testing it?
especially, it's all about the dynamics of the prop and the motor for how it responds. And if you're using a modern prop, a modern injection molded prop like an APC, you're going to have a very soft result compared to what you're used to, or compared to what you're looking for. So,
Did you hear what I said? How do you know without testing it?
I'm sorry?
How would you know how good it works without testing it on the airplane?
Well, when you test it, you're going to try to look at what you're going to find is you fly it with a rev up and it might be all right. You fly it with the modern prop, it's gonna end up drilling you right in the sunglasses. All right, because it's not going to be generating any power
What
burst.
I'm saying is, how do you know without testing it?
When you fly the thing, it's going to explain why it doesn't work. That's all.
Because it may work really good and the numbers say it should work really bad.
It's unlikely. It's less likely.
Well, we'll see.
Dennis, you was talking about the speed doesn't change on a Fox 35 from 4-cycle and 2-cycle. Well, I can verify that on my old twin flying the pattern. At the beginning of the flight was flying 49 miles an hour through a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the flight, with both motors leaned out, they clocked it again at 51 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
There's only 2 miles an hour difference. That kind of surprised me.
Yeah, it is surprising. But anyhow.
Yeah, so Dennis had one here, the 9-incher. That one had a natural period of about 0.3 of a second. It was really hard to count. I had to really focus on that because it spun really fast.
Does that mean, okay, since down to a 7-inch prop, are you even able to do that one? It would have been a very light prop on your test rig.
I thought I had that on here. Where is it?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. It didn't show up on the graph. It must be off the graph.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 116. It was 0.4 of a second natural period.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it was moving like mad. It was really hard to count the oscillations.
Wow.
And here are the masses. These were the glow probe. I showed this data last week, and then here are the masses for the ones that Dennis sent. And I apologize. I didn't realize that one was clear off the graph over here.
Yeah, maybe expand the margin on the borders on your graph, the range down all the way down to 7. So, okay.
So again, these are generally lighter than the globe props.
Mm-hmm.
And then your championship prop is down here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did yesterday.
All right. Great. Hey, Denny, there was a question earlier about the props. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. So he came back with, I was wondering if you run APC props or wood props. It's a scale full fuse cosmic wind for scale with a 750 kV motor, 12-inch prop. You're answering my question for proficiency.
It's on a scale model.
Yeah, full
Okay.
fuse.
Scale models, I will, if you're not doing square corners or anything like that, I don't know that the prop weight or anything like that, the inertia of the prop will be a little less, critical. I think a regular APC would do the job. I would start with a 12.6. 12.6 APC is an awfully, APC is a good prop design. The knock on them has been that they're heavy. All right.
Yeah.
As wood props became available. Now, if a wood prop on the Cosmic Wind might give you the advantage, you might be able to finish it in a scale manner. You might be able to make it, to paint it to match the full scale airplane or something like that.
On my scale shoestring, it's electric.
Yeah.
It's a 32 motor. It's a E-Flight 32. I run a 12.8 wood propeller because I got throttle control. So it, you want, and plus the model's, heavier than a stunt plane, so you want some thrust.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very good. Well, thank you for your answer. And Dennis, so what have you been up to, Dennis? Just a second, Bart, I'll get right to you next.
Okay.
Well, nothing with airplanes, but I've been keeping busy. So
yeah, you have.
I made my stage debut last night. So, and let's see, I'll save Charles the trouble, but anyhow.
Let me see.
Yeah, that's it. I was on my son is a high school band director, and they were doing their Christmas program, and they needed somebody to read the night. Twas the night before Christmas. They needed somebody who, he wanted an old man, and I could play the part without any makeup, and and delivering it. There's a real wonderful piece of classical music is overlaid with and stuff. His kids, his high school kids, are phenomenal talents as musicians, and so I got to deliver it with great pomp and circumstance and all that kind of stuff, and the show went over real well. I'd never done anything like that, so it was fun. So
very good. So go ahead, Bart.
Well, I was just thinking about the weight of the props. A lighter prop is going to use less power, especially on an electric motor. And I would think on a 2.4 brake, there would be more response because the engine doesn't have to work as hard to make the change. And I just think a lighter prop would be better. And also, because it's a much lighter prop, you might be able to go to a little bit more diameter without much of a penalty on the engine. So those are just my thoughts.
Yeah, I think, and what you're saying, I think, is on target too, because the enemy is heat. Gas or electric, the enemy is always heat. And I think that the heavier prop is going to be a heavier load, even steady state. And it could be, why in the heck does this thing overheat? And it never used to overheat before. One of the differences, maybe you put a heavier prop on it. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Very good. Let me get to Stuart Morrison. Hey, Stuart, how's it going? How's your shop coming along?
Slow but steady. So we're moving along. Other than that, not flying weather up here right now. Too much wind. Actually, the weather's been about 40 degrees, so, but there's too much wind. Other than that, we'll just keep plugging ahead. They'll get the
We
shop
might be
done.
getting some good luck. We've actually had some pretty good weather here the last couple of days. It hasn't been too terribly breezy, and we hit the 50s here, mid 50s today. It was,
Heat wave.
it probably could have snuck out somewhere, early mid-afternoon or so if didn't have other things going on. Kind of snuck up on us. Nobody expected. It was nicer than it was supposed to be, but that I would have think that's all heading out your direction, you and Len. So
Yeah.
maybe you got a day or two, you might be able to sneak in a flight or two or something. So
That's the wind. That's what's killing us. But
yeah, that's it. The wind has been bad, but the last couple of days it finally kind of evened out a little bit. So it hasn't been calm certainly, but we haven't been getting the big gusty stuff that we've been getting for the couple of weeks before that. So
yeah. Oh well, we'll see what happens.
Very cool. So, Mark Wise, what you been up to, Mark?
Hi guys. Right after last Monday session, I asked a couple of guys who work with me at Pampa to get a hold of Sparky and who else was it? Gordon. Yeah. So I got copies that you guys you've talked to my guys and they're getting things straight for you.
Well, they said they are. He sent me a letter and a kind of a membership card I got to print off and laminate. I don't know if he's going to send one to me or whatever, but they said they were going to send me some back issues, so that'd be good.
Okay. Good. Well, as I said before, if I know or if we know there's a problem, we'll fix it. If we don't know, then that really is a problem. Over the sale days in the past couple of months, I finally got today.
Oh, what'd you get?
3515 badass motors.
Oh,
Lucy,
nice.
he just seems to be the nicest guy in the world. They were back ordered, and he stayed in touch with me during this period, which was awfully nice of him. So I'm working hard to put together a good flying program for myself for 24, understanding that a lot of my time is pulled away, and it makes it really important to figure out who you're going to fly with and where you're going to practice and what planes you're going to get ready. But that's okay. That's okay. Got a lot of good things going on in Pampa, good committee work, and looking forward to next year. John Powers and I have been comparing notes about the Nats, and looks like we're going to go back to the 180 building for those guys who have been to the Nats. That's where we used to do appearance judging in the pilots meeting, and it's gotten out of favor because it's kind of like going to McDonald's. I used to get 3 hamburgers, fries, and a Coke for $1, and now 2 hamburgers and a Coke is about 13. So the room that we like, the 2 rooms that we like, are now $650. And I just think that's highway robberies, particularly when it's attached to a church. It really bothers me. But we're doing it because I think it's best for the event. So not a lot of choices. And of course, working on the world. So we got three major things I get involved with other than, trying to head Pampa. I think we're going to make a change this year at Triple Tree. And I think what we're going to do is, I was talking to Will about it, have a 2-day stunt camp to really get people down there that want to fly and be judged by guys who are really hands-on and trimming airplanes and making sure the lines are right and getting everything in 2 days that I don't think you can do in one. And maybe limit the amount of contests we have down there. So we're going to do that. Brodak, I don't know the week. I just spoke to Sandy. I was supposed to be up there today, but I've acquired this wonderful cold, and I didn't want to spread it up there. And then I was going to spend the weekend with Ed Waskey and his wife, but I didn't want them to get whatever I had. I told her about the Nats. It'll be a month later, and how that might affect participation at Throwdown. I think it's all going to be fine. They're very different events, and now they're 2 months apart, which may be good for both of them. So that's about where I am. Thank you, Charles.
Question, Mark. About that 180 building, have you guys ever looked into Ball State to see if you can use the gymnasium?
Well, we looked into Ball State because I held the banquet there last year.
Right.
And I asked about that, and the price they gave me, even though I was going to be using the rooms, wasn't far off of the church. I was disappointed. I told them, I guess there's reasons why people charge certain amounts, and I'm not smart enough to know the answer. But I thought of that, Sparky. I'd like to get out of the 180 building. We don't have unlimited funds at Pampa, and 650 is a chunk of money.
Yeah, 180 is a nice place, but you'd think that
It
Ball
is.
State would do it for nothing.
Well, that's what I was hoping for. That was my first angle. Hey, we're having dinner. We're gonna, we'll come back. We'll do this more times, and we gave them a check for, I don't know, $4,600, something like that.
Wow.
And, so we'll keep looking, and I think it's going to be a great year, and that's what I got.
Very cool. Thank you, Mark. Gordon Delaney, how you doing? What you been up to?
Just going to the doctor. They ordered the MRI, so I've got that to schedule. And that's about it. Oh, I did do work on my airplane last night or yesterday.
What'd you do?
I masked off the edges and wiped it down with Pepsols and tack rabbit so I can start shooting some paint on it.
Now, when you mask, do you seal the edges of the tape?
No.
Okay.
I do if I use masking tape, I do. But if I use the what they call it, slimline or whatever tape, one thing I do have to do on that, when you peel back, sometimes the paint that's on the tape stays with the airplane.
There's the tape to use if you don't want to use to clear over it, to seal it. This is automotive 3M tape.
That's all I use on masking tape is 3M.
Right. This yellow stuff, is it yellow or green?
No, I got yellow.
Okay, you don't have to seal it. It'll make a straight, crisp line.
All right, thank you, Sparky.
But anyway, the vinyl tape, I end up having to put tape over the top of it before I peel it off.
Right.
I can get a clean line. Masking tape, you don't have a problem. It just cleans off easy. So maybe I could sand it or something, give it a little too so the paint can stick to the tape.
How long do you wait before you pull the masking tape off?
Overnight.
I pull it off immediately. And you don't have that problem.
That might be a good idea.
Yeah, the minute that it's tacked up, that I can get on it without putting a fingerprint in it, I start peeling the tape.
Very good. Thank you. And we have John Miller in the house. Hey, John, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. You been doing any work on any airplanes or been flying?
I've been doing the computer retrieving files.
All right.
I've been retrieving files, spending about 8 hours a day for the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
So if you have any files, I had so many copies of some things I have to every one of them check, make sure they're nice, a bunch of identical files. It takes a little time, but it's coming along.
Good. I think you have a little bit of low bandwidth again too with your mic. It's we heard you, we understood you, but it was not really smooth. And then we have a Cha-Cha.
Last week, I got an email from I got an email from Brent Williams. Wanted to see a picture of it, and I lost his email and all the bouncing around. So if he's listening, if he sends me another one, I'll get him a copy of it. But I can show you what the plans look like for the first one. Okay.
All right. What model is this? What model is this, John? I think you might have froze.
If I got the bandwidth to.
Oh yeah.
It's the Pathfinder Mark III.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
He's froze up.
You might not have the bandwidth to share. Let me turn my attention to Cha-Cha. Hey, Cha-Cha, thanks for joining us. How you doing?
I'm all right.
Here we go.
What's up?
Oh, just
Happy
doing
birthday.
the show.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Nice.
So do you get any flying done during the week, or when do you normally do your flying? When you fly, I mean, model airplanes. I mean, I know you do some other flying, but when you do
on Saturdays. So tomorrow morning I'll be doing some flying.
Say you probably got the nicest weather of anybody here in the chat room. I think that's a pretty
Correct.
safe bet.
Correct. We just have some rain. We are currently in the rainy season, but
Okay.
for the most part, it's good.
Where are you at?
Trinidad and Tobago.
Where?
Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh yeah.
It's probably always nice down there.
Aside from the occasional hurricanes and whatnot, but
Yeah.
Funny enough, we have not been affected by a hurricane based on our location. They usually pass us straight.
Oh, very
that
good.
sounds great.
So if you go flying tomorrow, what do you plan on flying? What planes?
Vector 40.
All right. And your Vector 40 is using what for power, and what tell me about your setup.
I currently have a Brodak 40 for power. Currently flying on 01560. And I just changed the prop because the Vector was a little fast. So I'm using 11 by 4.5 prop. So we're gonna see how that works tomorrow, please God.
You're saying fast. How fast are your lap times?
For something.
Oh, well, you might want to get longer lines. How long are your
That's
lines?
a wee bit fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just got a 63 feet to try as well. Probably might max out at 63 feet.
Yeah. Very
Yes.
good. Well, hope you have a good day flying tomorrow.
Yes. Thanks.
So we're all caught up on the chat box. We've all caught up on what everybody's been doing. So we can just have a free for all. Anything that anybody wants to talk about, or anybody in the chat, if you have any questions, please. We have some talented, experienced people in the gallery. Shoot away. Ask us some questions, and I'm sure you'll get some good answers.
Did Terry Mitchell respond? Is he happy with the answer he got? Or is that the information he was looking for?
Didn't
indicate.
He didn't say. Terry, is that any questions about what Denny said?
You said a cosmic scale cosmic wind, right?
Right.
I
Full
wonder if that
view.
was the big Brodak airplane. That would be kind of a companion to the shoestring that that Sparky built.
Right.
And Sparky, you said you had a 12.8 prop, correct?
Right. Right.
Okay.
But I got a throttle on it. I got a radio on it. You know,
Yeah,
I don't-
right. So
We got Howard Rush in the house. Hey, Howard, thanks for coming in. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
good.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. So how did your vertical CG on your Christmas tree work out?
I have a tether on it.
You have a tether on it? Oh, okay.
Tether.
It's not gonna make it top heavy. It's gonna be all right. Fine level.
It hasn't fallen over yet.
All right. Cool.
I don't know. My wife and I were driving through the neighborhood. We found a tree that somebody put on their front porch, and they hung it upside down. So it's hanging from the roof of the porch. So I suppose that's one way you could fix any vertical CG issues. But
Yeah, it'd be stable that way, wouldn't it?
mm-hmm. Hey, Howard, did you get a chance? I don't know if you saw any of the preview here. Did you see Mark went through the stuff he had on prop inertia and stuff like that? I don't suppose you got a chance to see that.
No, not today. I just got it.
Okay. But, and he was saying the next logical step too is probably to get some electric motor CGs inertias in there too. Just keeping it all the same. You said that we could calculate those pretty straightforward, but I'm wondering, just put it on his test rig or something like that. He could have the whole thing at one time then.
Need to put a red brick on there and spin it around and see what all that stuff weighs.
Exactly.
You been doing any building or anything, Howard? I know you was trimming your tree last time.
I've been trying to clean the shop with moderate success. No, I don't have anything. You go on.
All righty. Appreciate that. No questions in the gallery and no questions out in the audience. We just added Howard Rush, so come on. Any questions or concerns about building or flying, answer away.
Because everybody knows everything now. We've covered everything.
What do you got there, Bart?
I'm just wondering on the electric motors, there's quite a mass that spins there. I know it's close to the center, but has anybody noticed difference in the gyroscopic precession or whatever on the motors?
I really haven't noticed anything, but I think it's, it's when you fly an airplane, it's mixed in with everything else that, that's going on and everything like that. It's just like when I was flying glow motors, I never noticed that the CG changed from beginning to end of a flight because, you do stunt patterns and the airplane is at whatever the trim level is, at the wing over versus the clover. I do know that if you'd go back like after the end of the pattern and do another wing over, it was like, my God, I just wasted my time with that, or something like that. So I think the gyro of the motor, unless you were going to, if you had the exact same airframe and could switch it back and forth, maybe you could find something and identify that it is a gyro going on.
What about yaw or anything like that?
I'm not sure how else you could even sense that.
It should tell my Bearcat with that Raby rudder flew much better than my other airplanes without it.
You can use lighter props with electric.
No, that was a Tiger 60, right?
On the Bearcat, yeah.
Yeah.
But Howard's talking about in general, I think.
Yeah.
Well, even with glow motors, you can get some pretty light props.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, from Mark's data there, basically, if you're using a wooden prop, you're probably in a pretty good place as far as weight and inertia goes. If you're using composite props, there's a lot more variations in there.
Correct.
Typically to the bad, but
Stay awake, Sparky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been using Igor props, which are around 16 grams. For
is there any chance you could spare one of those for Mark? Send it to him for a.
Yes, there is. I have one that hit a fence, and it's cracked, but come on, who has not hit a fence or a tree with a control line there?
I've hit a tree.
Yeah. I've hit a tree too, but the statute of limitations expired on that. That was
If it's cracked, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Cracked,
great
donation.
It'll have the same inertia, so I can say.
Shame on that prop for hitting a fence. I mean,
yeah, that's it.
Well, I was practicing my FAI whip and a lap landings and didn't notice I was outside the circle there.
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah. Okay. But I would think that would be one of those things that it's going to stand out. You stand well away from the other three-bladed props that Mark's been able to test. I don't think you've got anything nearly that light, do you, Mark? The three-blade props you don't have anything like a 16 gram. That's what, an 11-inch or what's?
Yeah, this is an 11.
Yeah.
I haven't tested any electric three blades.
Yeah.
We'll fix you up.
Yeah.
All right, you got my address. It's in the Pampa directory, I guess.
Oh, do I have a Pampa directory?
Well, that goes back a few years.
Is there one on the website? I can never find it.
I think it was a 2015 on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
I think
directory on the website.
It's on
and
there.
my address hasn't changed.
I'll get it.
Shoot me an email if you need it, Howard.
Okay.
I have a question from Marcel Legrand. I have a question for John or Gordon. What size tank for an OS 20 should I use on a Pathfinder twin doing the F2B pattern?
2.5 ounces is plenty.
I'd agree with Gordon on that one.
Well, these people live way up in that stratosphere. So, is that true at sea level?
Yeah, Marcel Legrand. Where is he from? Is he in New Zealand?
I thought he was in France.
That's sea level.
Maybe I'm mistaken where Marcel Legrand lives. I don't know.
New Zealand.
There's always the philosophy that you could do something like a 3-ounce tank and then measure the fuel load that you carry.
Yep.
Have provision for the 3-ounce tank. It's plenty of space for just about any eventuality, and then just get into the habit of measuring how much fuel he uses. Especially with a twin, I would think that you'd want to be awfully close to where to the correct fuel load, so you don't have one engine. You might even have a different fuel load side to side depending on how you start the engines and things like that. So
yeah, that twin that Howard has, I used to measure the fuel on that, and there's a lot of times they had it so close, they were shutting off almost, within a split second of each other.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Did you use the same fuel load on both sides, or did you put just a tick more on one side than the other?
I put a little more on the outside because for some reason it seemed to burn more fuel.
Yeah, quarter ounce more on the outside. The B-17, when Paul had different tanks for each engine. They burned all different amounts of fuel. Didn't seem to make much sense.
I think it's because traveling further, or I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's that. Yeah, in the
centrifugal force.
The outside motor or engine burns a quarter ounce more fuel.
Yep.
That's what you already told me. And I did a kill loop with it once. I figured if I got away with it, I'd really impress my cable, and I did.
Very cool.
Oh, on the little twin?
Yeah.
Oh.
What the heck? It should have worked. So
It flies on one. I haven't done any stunts on one engine, but on one engine, you can't even tell which engine quit when there's one running.
Yeah, I couldn't tell when I flew my Pathfinder twin, the one I got from Dave Sabon, I couldn't tell when one engine quit either. It's hard to tell. I had OS 20 LA 25s on it.
How did that fly, Charles?
It flew good, but I just couldn't get it to fly consistent as far as the engine runs. And that's why Dave Sabon gave it to me. Him and Bob Brooks worked on it. And I think Dave told me he went through several different iterations of motors, between Magnums and OS Maxes and a variety of OS Max 25s and a variety of fuel tanks. And so he just called me one day and said, if you want it, you can have it minus the engines. Yeah. And so I got one really good flight, but I couldn't replicate it. And I had the same experiences that Bob Brooks and Dave Sabon had.
Now, one thing you have to do is make sure you don't overload the motors with too much pitch on the prop. Makes it a lot easier to use a little less pitch, and makes it easier to find your needle settings.
Wow. See, I wish I had that bit of information. I didn't think to do that. I was just doing, I think I was using 9.4 or 9.5 APC props.
On what engine?
LA 25s.
Oh, no. Wow.
OS Max, LA 25s. I thought that was the ideal prop for the OS Max 25, the 9.5.
Yeah, I would have thought that would have worked perfect. I'm not familiar with the 25, but that put out plenty of power, and that should be an easy prop for it to swing.
Yeah, I never could figure out. I never could get it to work. But I mean, the one time that I had a really good flight, I was like, oh man, I love these twins. That prop blast going over the wing is you just can't replicate that with a single engine.
Yep.
It's just a unique feeling how the plane goes through the maneuvers. It's just you have all the power, that you could ever want. It's a different kind of feel. It's really nice.
Yeah, my new twin with those Magnum 30 or Magnum 15s, a lot more power than the FP 15s I had on the other one. I tell you, light them off. Just don't stick your finger in it like I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, I only have one Magnum 15. I don't have another one, so. But it was good while it lasted. If I do go do another Pathfinder, it's going to be electric, just to save me all the pain and agony.
That would be perfect for a twin electric.
Yeah, and Bob Brooks has an electric Pathfinder twin, but he's not flying anymore. And I think he gave it to his son-in-law, and so I don't know. I keep hoping that someday I might get a chance to fly that one to see what it feels like. And I got an answer from Marcel Legrand. He says, yeah, New Zealand, Charles. Marcel Legrand is in New Zealand.
It's right next to Old Zealand.
Yeah. Where is Old Zealand?
Somewhere out there in the water. Down below Australia, somewhere.
to the east of Australia, a little south of it.
Hmm.
Well, you guys, you know what? Tonight's my birthday. My wife and kids, we haven't had ice cream and cake and all that. So I'm going to end the live stream. You guys can continue on in the after party, unless someone wants to continue on the live stream now. But,
Yeah, I'll just take the host from you.
all right, great.
Don't do anything.
Happy birthday, Charles.
Yeah, go have a
Thank
happy
you very
birthday,
much.
Charles.
Happy birthday.
I
Happy
see,
birthday, Charles.
Birthday.
I see that Stunt Hanger. You have you're the host now. Thank you, Sparky,
No
and thank you,
problem.
everybody. So I will.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a good night.
Well, you don't need to go. Just Sparky's going to take over. You're in good
No, I
hands.
gotta go. I gotta go.
All right. Hey, you guys,
Bye.
thank you. I'll see you guys Monday. All right. Hopefully, you have a chance to do some flying, work in your shop, and come back Monday and tell us all about it. And you're in good hands with Sparky. So see ya.
Good night, Charles.
Good night, man.
Night.
Good night.
Good night, Bart.
We got AI companion on this, and we got all kinds of stuff on here. I haven't seen this screen in a while.
So I have a question for somebody. If we run out of things to talk about,
Okay, well, ask away.
what's a lightweight, cheap way to convert from voltage to a RC PWM signal?
Oh,
Got
my.
me.
Okay.
I have noticed in the innovative site, in most cases, he seems to recommend the PWM, I forget the units, but he says he suggests an 8. All right. Not a
what?
12 or 16. He suggests using 8. Most of the badass motors seems to have that.
Oh, no,
but he doesn't make any distinction between voltage or anything like that, which
I'm talking about just converting a signal. The deal, I'm made some electronic combat shutoffs, and they use muscle wire, which is a flaky way to actuate
okay.
the shutoff. And I got some little servos from Temu. I get stuff from Temu. I Stunt Hangar advertiser to support Stunt Hangar. I know that Sparky gets a cut from every Temu order I make.
No,
Really?
no.
Oh, well, shucks. Anyhow, I got some of these tiny servos. So I figured, hey, I could use a servo to cut off the fuel, pinch the fuel line. But to work the servo, I need to generate an RC signal, a radio control signal, not resistance capacitor. And I don't know how to do that from a voltage. But you think that somebody makes a chip that does that?
Well, you need a combat cutoff is this a glow motor?
Yeah, it'd be for a glow motor.
I got one around here somewhere. You can have it. It's a spring.
No, thank you. I got the spring things. I'm making electronic ones.
You might try shooting a note off to Will Hubin.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because he knew where different well, certainly where different ESCs were, but he knew the signals that worked with different ESCs,
Well,
and I think receivers and everything like that. So he would probably know what kind of signal they're sending to servos. So
he'd think it's a
made
dumb
servo
question.
testers.
Yeah, he'd think it's a dumb question though, because he'd do it like digitally. And I'm an old man and I don't know from digital, so I was hoping I'd.
Well, I think Will is older than you are, so I don't know. I think hey, but first thing you do, you say, Howard, this is a dumb question. Stop wasting my time. So
yeah. Well, that wouldn't be helpful because I already know it's a dumb question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's not the answer you were looking for. I know, but
what the heck? No, that's fine. Thank you.
Howard, didn't you have one of your combat planes with electric shut-off stuff in the leading edge one time?
Yes.
Yeah, you showed that to me.
Yeah.
Uh, did that work okay, or is it?
It does, but the actuation is by some muscle wire, some wire you pass electricity through it, and it gets shorter, and it tugs on the fuel line, and that stuff's too flaky.
Yeah, I guess. Never heard of such thing. So okay.
But yeah, it worked the time I fiddled with it. The first one I made worked fine.
Now, if I remember, that just slid into the leading edge of the wing, didn't it, next to the pod?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So pretty
Got
interesting.
a question totally unrelated to anything. I'm anticipating getting rid of, trying to get rid of some of my stuff from my dad and my brother's estates and stuff. There's a lot of engine parts and stuff like that, stuff that's of unknown or unknowable value. Things like, what do you do with parts for an engine that, maybe nobody's using anymore or something like that. But my initial plan is to try to list stuff on Stunt Hangar, obviously, and try to get it, get it close. The next step beyond that normally would have been eBay or something like that. But I'm hearing so many weird stories about eBay. They want in on your account. You sell something, they withhold taxes on your sales and everything like that. And I guess I'm just curious, is there an alternative to eBay that you guys know about as far as just basically, generically or, selling general stuff and stuff?
Craigslist.
Say again?
Craigslist.
Oops, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Berg. Sprague, go ahead.
Craigslist.
Oh, Craigslist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Facebook has Marketplace. Do you have Marketplace down there on Facebook? If you got it, you can search on groups or go to groups on Facebook, and then you can, put in control line sales or something, and then you'll get a bunch of stuff. And actually, I think you might find that pretty good.
Got any Super Tiger 46 parts or any 60 parts, Dennis?
I'll tell you what I got is a Tiger 51 old style, the one that was based the same family as the 60. I have one of those that I need a wrist pin for. All right.
I got one.
How's that? What's the chances of finding that? I think my best shot is going to be to find a Tiger 60 wrist pin and, cut it down a little bit. But,
right.
but I'm going to have, and then I just, Wes, the other night, Wes gave me an old Tiger 56 that he got off of Don Still. This thing's all gummed up and everything like that. I'm sure, it's a Super Tiger. Just basically everything's replaceable on it. I'm sure I can put that back together. So the neat thing is that the 51 is like a 60, only it's lighter. So if you got a Tiger 60 airplane that needs a little bit less nose weight, it might work, and it'd be a whole lot lighter, I think, than the later Tiger 51. The big square block engine and all that kind of stuff. But that's something. I mean, that's a small audience would be interested in an engine like that, and so. But it's things like that. It's like, toss it out on Stunt Hangar, and there's about a chance in a million that anybody was looking for it, and I'm not sure where to go beyond that. But
I'll take the Stunt Hangar. I mean the Super Tiger parts that you got.
I don't know any of them are 60s.
It's all right. 46.
But I know we got
51.
the 51s.
Yeah.
Second, you mentioned your Magnum was nose heavy. I thought it might be an option for that, but then you also said you think you're going to get rid of your Magnum. So.
Oh yeah, I'm going to sell it. Somebody will buy it.
I got a question for Mark. Mark Wise.
You hear?
He's here.
Come on.
You're muted, Mark.
It's speechless.
Hey,
That's
Mark,
rare.
on the world's or on the AMA website, I found where the world's for August. It says
Yes.
CL August 8 and 9, 2024, and then they got control line August 11th through the 17th, 2024.
Yeah, the first dates, Gary, 8 and 9,
Mhm.
that's for the World Cup.
Cup, okay.
And we don't, F2B is not participating in that. So you'd see
Okay.
combat flyers and racing flyers and those guys participating, but we're not.
Okay, so
We're taking a couple of days off and then going to fly at the Worlds.
which is 11th through the 17th.
Yes,
Okay.
you got it.
Yeah, I was wondering what on that on the cup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I think for the Worlds, I'm only coming up one day, probably the last day.
Okay. Yeah, that would be Saturday, and then there's a dinner Saturday night. I don't know who can attend. I know it's for all the participants and staff. I don't know if there are tickets available for spectators and other pilots. I can find out though.
So that's being run independent of your efforts then?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought about having it together, but then I learned that they want to have it at the end of the Worlds, and I can't ask people at, who fly at the Nats to wait another 10 days. It's,
Okay. So you're anticipating 2 banquets down there then? That's what it amounts to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Hi guys, what happened to Charles?
It's his birthday.
That's why I came on. I saw him. I was looking at it on YouTube, and I thought it was his birthday. I wanted to come on and wish him happy birthday.
Well, he heard you were coming on and he left.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll see you guys later.
Mr. Bob, it's always
He
good
said
seeing you.
something about his wife and kids wanted to have cake and everything like that. So he just bombed it. He just
really
abandoned us. All right. So
yeah.
Like
Can
Rick
you imagine
Campbell,
what
Rick Campbell wouldn't come to our big contest because it was on his anniversary. I can't understand that.
Oh,
It's
that
his
doesn't
wife.
change.
Then you'd understand it.
It could have been his last anniversary if he would have come.
I have a couple of stunt
Exactly.
flying buddies. I have a couple of stunt flying buddies. I won't name names, who say that if you don't go through a few wives, you're not doing the stunt thing right.
My God.
I know at least one of
Howard
them
knows who I'm
said that,
talking
right?
about.
Yeah.
Well, what can I say? Every year I've ever been, my wedding anniversary occurs during Brodak week. All right. So how's that for dedication, Mark? So
Yeah.
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 It's okay.
Bob,
I traded up.
we're kind of slow here. And I don't want to talk for the group, but do you have any good photos you want to share?
I got lots of photos, matter of fact. Steve, I got your Steve here still? Did he leave?
Steve Smith had to leave to also.
Oh, he had to leave. Okay.
Yeah, he's coming over tomorrow, so he's got to get his beauty sleep.
I had put out a note the last time I was on that I had taken all my photo collection, which amounts to thousands of photos. It's actually 14 gigabytes of photos.
Wow.
And I put them all into one file, and anybody who wants them, all they got to do is send me a thumb drive. Now somebody sent one. Howard, was it you?
No.
Somebody sent me one and didn't send an address or return address. There's nothing on the envelope or anything. It's just they sent me they had a drop ship to my house, and I don't know whose it is.
That sounds like mine.
Oh.
Yeah, you're not buying that, huh? All right.
Hey, Bob, have you got any pictures of Bob Gieske's Nobler?
Don't do that because I can't make him big. I just was looking and this is Charles's.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay.
Wait
All
a
right.
minute. hide self-view, show.
I can put them on the share screen or something, you know.
I can't, no, you can't, because I can't transfer, I can't highlight you. I don't know how. Charles knows how.
Huh.
This is something I don't use, this program. I'm looking for it here and I don't know where it's at.
When you speak, Bob, you become big. On my screen. I don't know about everybody else.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know. I just shared something and it came right up. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just try here. Hold on a second. Let me just try. Somebody want what? Bob Gieske?
yeah.
Bob Giesche's nobler.
Had a big discussion a couple of weeks ago whether it was blue or black trim.
Well, he had a yellow one too, you know.
Nah, I mean the real ones.
The older ones.
The real ones,
the Fox 35 pump.
Yeah, with that trim with a white pinstripe. The yellow, that was kind of an imitation.
Well, he had so many, you know, that
yeah.
The black.
Yeah, I'm looking for the older ones with the Fox 35, not the newer Bear ones. I'm looking for the actual nobler ones. So
okay, well, I have a
1970s and 80s.
Someplace I think of him with one of them. Give me a minute here, and I'll find it.
Okay.
Hey, Len, I ordered my dagger.
Good for you. Good plan. It'll be a good plane.
15 minutes to find it, I think.
Yeah, I just don't know how to operate this program.
That's all right.
Yeah, you only
All right. It's not like you're
heck?
doing it. Not like you're doing it every week anymore, Sparky.
No, it's changed.
For sure. No problem.
Well, I got a black and white picture. That doesn't show you what you want to see.
Good question.
Yeah, we're not greedy. We'll take what we can get.
Hold on. Can do that, I think.
Well, I'll be ready for super fill.
All right, hold on here. Let's see what we got.
I'll do it tonight, though.
Yeah, it's black. See?
Right.
Okay.
Red and
Hard
white.
to tell. Well, it's red and white, but I'm questioning the pinstripe around the white. Is it black?
I think it was.
or blue?
I think that one was.
it's blue.
I think that one was blue.
That one, no,
Okay.
that one's black. I can tell you. I can see it from here.
Well, that's what I thought too, Howard. But I think he did some one color and some another. I'm not sure.
Some people are colorblind. He's black and white blind.
Oh,
It's very hard to tell. Some guys say it's blue, some guys say it's black. So he may have done some planes.
He had different ones. He had a number of different.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, exactly.
Make
You were
it
there.
blue
You
and then
probably,
you got it
but you
covered.
probably wouldn't remember.
Len, make it navy blue and then you got it covered. Insignia blue. Because
That's what I'm going to do. Insignia blue. And that's what I'm planning to do, Sparky. Exactly.
That way, if they say it's blue, well, that is blue. If they say it's black, well, that is black. It's blue black.
It's blue.
It's okay. You could be a politician.
That's right. Yeah, I just thought, Bob, because you were there in those days and flying with him, that you might have known, but it's hard to remember that stuff.
Well,
I'm sure.
I remember
It's a
seeing
pretty
both
small
times.
detail.
I remember seeing a black pinstripe and blue pinstripe.
I think I concur with that too. And I think the blue was a very, very deep shade, like a navy blue. It wasn't a medium or royal blue or something. It was
more of an,
very
like
blue.
Sparky says, it was like an insignia blue. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. That's all I need to know. Thank you.
There were some that were red, and there were some that were red that was
okay, here
applied
we go.
over silver, so it had kind of a metallic.
Here we go. Bob's got something here.
Here we go.
Yeah. So.
Oh.
Blue.
Blue. It looks blue. It's dark blue. Because you see it's black in front of the canopy there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different than
That's an
than on the
anti-glare
side
panel,
of the body.
yeah.
It's blue. It's a
Right.
very dark blue.
Yep.
Okay. That's awesome. Great picture.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Did I ever tell you the
try and make
story?
it just like that.
Did I ever tell you
Go
guys
ahead.
a story about the 1975 Nationals, which he won?
Yes.
With the this what happened to him there at the Nationals?
No.
We were in practice before the Nationals began, and that was the year that I was on the contest board at the time, and we had changed the rules back to having to use safety thongs. They forced us to do it. We had gotten rid of it, and we had to put them back on again. That was the first year. And Gieske got out there and he said, well, I better put a safety thong on. He hadn't been flying with one. And he put it on the wrong side of the handle. And he picked the handle up upside down. And I was like 5 feet from the circle when this happened. And his son Joe launched the airplane. And predictably, it went up on its nose and started hitting the prop. So he instinctively reversed controls. The airplane got in the air. He reversed controls again. It hit the ground so hard that, like all Noblers, when they hit, the back end of the fuselage broke off right at the back of the wing and was being held on by the push rod. And by this time, it's doing a shaft run across the ground, right? And smoking and screaming. And Joe runs out there and grabs it. He says, I'll kill it, Pa. I'll kill it. And he smashes the nose into the ground, and the nose breaks off right at the leading edge. And Bob's out there smoking his pipe. He goes, I think you killed it a mite too much, Joe.
Oh, man.
And he glued it back together, and he won the national.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
How do you? Oh, man.
Here's a stunt story for you.
That's wild. You have a similar one too, don't you?
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
We're not talking about that.
And McDonald, that same year, he snagged the line apparently on takeoff, and the airplane did a loop, hit the ground, and broke the stabilizer in half on the Stiletto 700. He glued it back together. He took second.
Oh.
I still don't remember, or I don't recommend that. I can't recommend that as a short circuit to the top. I can't buy into that. But,
well, the next year I decided to try a similar thing.
Well, is that your run over and overrun year?
Yeah, I did I had an overrun on my first official, and then I ran over the airplane and then won. So whatever it is, we may have to take that under advisement as the way to win the nationals is to destroy your airplane before the contest.
Ah,
it's like doing junkyard wars after you crash your airplane.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, this is Gordy. I just wanted to say hi to you. How you doing?
How you doing there, Gordy?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Did you get an email from me today?
Well, I haven't checked it. Did you send one?
No problem.
I'll check it out.
I got about 10 from you today.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. I haven't read them yet.
Yeah, well, neither have I.
You want to post that in the library, Bob?
Oh, they're PDFs. They're too big to post in the library.
Absolutely not. PDF.
Really?
Oh, yeah, easy.
I'll think about it. I was just thinking about sending them out to anybody. And for those of you who don't know, I sent out, I've been working on this Genesis book. Les McDonald had done a series of articles in Stunt News several years ago called the Stiletto Chronicles. And in it, he told about not just the airplane, but all the adventures and misadventures, the good and the bad, during his life in stunt. And I helped him put that all together. And it was pretty popular. And I thought it was really brave of him to write it the way he did. So he kind of chided me to do the same thing about the Genesis series of airplanes. So I've been working on it for several years. And with all my back problems and everything, I had some time to sit and finish it up to a degree. Not like I really wanted it. I wanted to have a real professional layout job done and everything, but it just wasn't to be. And I wanted to get it out before none of us left. So I sent it out to a bunch of people, but I'm going to send it out to anybody that wants it. I just didn't have everybody's email address. It's 16 chapters, so 176 pages or something. So, and those of you who got it, please understand. I don't expect you all to read it. If you want to read it, fine. If you don't, there's going to be no quiz. So don't worry about it.
Ooh, that's a relief.
What's that?
I said, that's a relief.
Yep.
No quiz.
Well, maybe we won't put it in the library then.
Oh boy.
Good
Is
that
this
you've
what they
got
call
that
a
many
is this what they
stories.
call a pregnant pause?
Yeah.
Something like that. Stingray.
Well, I'm going to weigh this, Gordy, and you're going to tell me what it's going to weigh in the end.
Okay.
Got 3 coats of clear on the whole thing, and all the woodwork's done, and all the silk, everything's on it. There's no motor and no wheels. I think it's going to be about 28 ounces. I think it's too heavy.
What motor are you putting on it?
Super Tiger 46.
Okay.
What battery does that use?
It's a 1.4 volt battery. It's on this thing here. It's 28.9.
And you got 3 coats of clear?
Yeah.
Sparky's the only guy I know that can accidentally build an airplane.
Well, I tell you, it's going to weigh around 46 to 47 ounces.
Yeah.
Beauty.
I figured about 48 or 9, but
It might go 48, but I don't think it'll go over 48.
and you think that'll be, this wing will carry that weight, no problem, huh?
Oh, easy. That's a big wing you got there. Not a problem. You know, here in Utah, because of our altitude, we had to carry a lot of square inches and try to keep the weight down. You take a 46-ounce Nobler, and it's a sled here in Salt Lake. You take that down the coast, it flies fine. So our maximum weight that we ever wanted a Nobler would be 42 or lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was my first Nobler was 37.5 ounces.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a real.
This is all my RC wood that I had. This, I got to do something with all this heavy wood I got. So I took the heavy wood and built an airplane.
So I was looking for heavy wood for my rudder on my Pathfinder building, and I couldn't find any. So I had to use some good 4.5-pound wood. So I covered it with carbon fiber to kind of strengthen it up a bit.
Well, Gordy, if you build an airplane up there at that altitude that's too heavy, can't you just move?
Well, that would be a solution. So what do you do when you build a heavy airplane, Bob? You don't build a heavy airplane.
I don't build any heavy
Build them.
airplanes.
Doesn't build them heavy.
He puts a second motor on.
Yeah, right.
Got it.
Thank you, Gordy. the king of the twins, Gordy.
Well, you sure built some beautiful twins, Bob.
Thank you, sir. You too. Except the ones you built have hurt my arms on more than one occasion. Except for that Pathfinder profile. That is a fine flying model airplane.
Yeah, that's the one I gave Howard.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Anytime you come to Salt Lake to have a spend over, which one would have played, Howard? The twin. I got all these stunt ships, and the only one he wanted to fly was the twin, so I thought he'd enjoy it more than I would.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's we've talked about it often. He really enjoyed it. Anybody who's flown that airplane, their eyes have been opened. I mean, that airplane is as good as any airplane on the planet, you know.
You know, everybody that flew it, all of them loved the airplane. I didn't hear any negatives on the airplane whatsoever.
That year,
What motors did you have on there?
I had the FP-15s. They could have used a little more power though.
Wow.
The year you let me fly it at VSC, did Masaru Hiki also fly it?
Who?
Masaru Hiki from Japan.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yep. And
he flew my Caprice that day too after the contest, and he was walking out of the circle, and he had his head down, and it was like he's thinking, and he walks up to me, and he still has his head down. I said, "Well, what'd you think?" And he looks up, and his eyes got real big, and he goes, "It pulled everywhere." Not as good as that 20 years though.
The thing I liked about the little twin is on the hourglass, that top corner to turn to come down, it turned it so tight, it seemed like you had 10 minutes before you got down to make your bottom corner.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
One thing I found with the electric twins, that third corner of the hourglass was the only place I was having any issues at all with one of the airplanes. And Rick Huff said, "Your leadouts are too far back. I've been running my leadouts further aft with the electric airplanes." He said, "Run them as far forward as you can and then make the inboard motor go a little faster." And that cleaned everything up, and it gave me more tension everywhere. Unbelievable. So that's another advantage to the adjustability factor of a twin. You know,
And being electric.
Yeah, it really works well.
You guys want to see the parts to my new airplane or some of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on a sec.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you can see much, but there's my new wing.
Oh yeah.
The tip's all done.
Well, that doesn't have
don't
green
know what
box
you can-
tips on it.
What's that?
That doesn't have green box tips on it.
No, doesn't. It's a Gieske Nobler.
Oh, okay.
It looks
You're
nice.
right. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have any no green box tips on this baby.
Looks good.
Trivia question for you, Lynn. Do you know what the difference between a Gieske Nobler wing and a regular Nobler wing is?
I do.
Dennis knows this.
I do too.
You know
I
the
think
difference?
that I think the Gieske Nobler wing's got a little bit thicker airfoil. That's
And
all
you know
I've
how
been
he
told.
and you know how he accomplished that?
Yep.
I do not know that. I heard something about he made it a pen width thicker or
Yeah,
something.
took a fat ballpoint pen and drew around the ribs, and that's how he made the ribs for the Gieske Nobler. Made it the thickness of a fat ballpoint pen on either side thicker.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Good stuff. I actually did the hinges the way Bob did them. He had 2 hinges together at the tip, 2 hinges together at the root, and 2 hinges together in the middle.
Wow.
So I did it exactly
Nice
the same
work.
way. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm really happy. The wing came out 8.9 ounces
Just right.
with everything on it. So I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, it's good.
I'll show you the tails. I spent all day doing the tails today.
You must have it short and his lights on the street, they're all flickering.
Yeah, really.
Haven't put these together yet, but this is the stab. There's a tremendous amount of carving in this. It just took hours and hours to get it right, but I finally got it all done and sanded out. The tails are actually only 1.9 ounces for the tail with the horn.
Nice work. Naomi does
pretty
nice
good.
work, Lynn.
She does do nice work. You're right.
Yeah.
I used to have a skill like that.
I'm trying to hold this up the way
Pliable.
it'll be. There we go. So
Very
that's
nice.
basically how it'll be. A lot of carving. It took me a long time to make the tails, but they're coming out nice. I'm pretty happy with it.
Nice work.
So we'll see what we get. Thank you.
I got a question for you guys, Bob, and I'm sure some of you know the answer to this. Maybe everyone does. In talking to Paul, and I was talking to him about the incidence of a stab, and he said, you know, the good thing is, he said, I make my stabs adjustable. So I start it where I want it, and then, you know, I can adjust it. Do you guys know how he does that? Mechanically, how he builds an
Howard
adjustable?
would know.
Yeah.
Who said that, Howard?
I did, yes.
Can you describe it?
I maybe got, no, I don't have any that are removed yet in the shop to show you. Look at the impact. You got the impact plans?
Yes.
Well, make the fuselage a little wider back there. Use 4, 3, 2 in the front and 2 in the back. Useful information.
Breaking up.
Your mic is breaking up, Howard.
Okay, I'll get closer to it.
There you
Use
go.
4 bolts rather than 3. I don't know if that's useful. Another difference between the original and how I'm building it, and I think how Paul's building it, because I get all my ideas from him. I don't have anything original. Is you stop the fuselage on the bottom half an inch short of the back of the tail, so you can get at the control horn, and there's still plenty of fuselage to mount the tail
on. Okay.
Well, how does he change his incidence though?
You can it bolts on, so you can shim it up.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of useful. As time goes on, the airplane will change, and weather might change it. You can stick little shims in here and there as required.
Yeah.
Okay. But his airplanes with the flat stab are the stabilizers parallel to the wing.
Right. Okay.
And instead of having a little positive incidence.
Yeah.
At least that's the way he was building them. And he gets the effect of positive incidence by down rigging the tail. It works out when the flaps are neutral, the tail's about 4.5 degrees down, or the elevator's about 4.5 degrees down.
Pretty normal.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Len.
Yeah.
I got one more picture for
Thank you, Howard.
Actually, I got 2 more
Perfect.
for Casey Noble. Want to see it?
Awesome. For sure. Oh yeah, that's an older Geesky Nobler.
Allegheny.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
There's the blue.
Oh yeah.
You know
For
what?
sure.
I got elevator stabilizer here for that.
Is that in Willow Grove? Where was that, Bob?
I don't know. Hold on.
Gotta be Dallas.
Here's an even better one.
With Gialdini with Stingrays,
Wilma
it's got to
Farland.
be Dallas, doesn't it?
Dallas.
64.
No, they weren't there in 64. 63 in Los Alamitos is when, but this is not the national. This is the World Championships.
Ah, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Oh yes.
I think that was that Swinderby, or no, that wasn't Swinderby. That was Woolley. This had to be Finland, I think. Because they both, you know,
Look how
I think
look how the round the tips were on that Nobler. Like they were
yeah, it was
very
an early
rounded.
one. It was more like a green
Original.
box, and you notice he didn't have the mustache or the beard. He looked much younger there, if you could see it.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
No
that's
wheel
kind of
pants either.
yeah, that's a rare
You can see the
photo.
wheels. Yeah,
Hey,
Mhm.
Bob,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Lou McFarland, do you know what he died from? He wasn't that old, was he?
Who?
Lou McFarland? with the
I
shot?
don't know what he died. I don't know how he died. No, I don't.
Oh,
Hey, Len, this is
Oh, hey, look at
Bob
That's cool.
Giskey's stabilizer out of one of
wow.
those Noblers there. Look at how he did.
Oh my gosh, look at
Look at
that.
how he did the ribs. All the ribs are built up.
Wow.
That is so cool. Wow. So I can put ribs in between those other ribs because he's got them in there, the built up ones.
Yeah, they're just sticks. They're little.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
sticks.
That is so cool. I'm so glad I got to see that. I'm gonna do that. I'll put the riblets in. That is so neat. What are they,
I
about
don't
an
suppose
1/8
you
square?
can see whether it's red trim or black trim. Huh?
That's what I was looking for, but the covering is gone where the trim would be.
Yeah, all right.
Those are
It's neat,
332nd.
Sparky. Nice picture, Bob.
Yeah, I thought you might want to see
That's
that
an
one too.
older picture. That's an older picture too.
Yeah, it's by 66.
Wow.
That's 1966. So
Wow.
that had to be Glenview or maybe Olathe.
Very neat.
66 was Glenview, 68 was Olathe, but either I
60
agree, either one.
65 was
It
Willow
looks that
Grove.
looked older than Olathe, so
I can't get over how young he looked. That's amazing.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was 66.
I'd never seen pictures of him young. That's
Okay,
really
you
neat.
know, what was the first one he won, Denny?
It might have been 66.
I think it was 66. Yeah.
I used to be young too.
You won a 66, 68, 74,
74, 75,
and
and 79. Yep.
Right.
Here's a picture of Billy in 67.
Yeah, that's out at was it Los Alamitos?
Booter Park.
Oh,
See
okay.
that,
We flew that
Sparky? Put
airplane
it
at
up.
Los Alamitos too.
I'm just trying to see if I have a Giskey photo from that time period.
I think I have.
Yeah,
I do have original Giesky Nobler plans.
Ooh, there you go.
Oh,
oh,
All right.
See, it doesn't show those little riblets. It just shows the ribs the way I've got them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Isn't that
it does
interesting?
show. I went looking for this before. Come on, good
Yeah, the
auditor.
center spar that I don't have.
I like the way you
Here
read
we
it.
go. Trace Nobler ribs, 1/16 with fat ballpoint pen. Cut the outer edge for the rib.
Wow.
Outer edge of the
Wow.
line for the rib.
How about that?
Use
That
3/30
is so
seconds
cool.
leading edge sheeting. So he had a fat ballpoint pen plus an extra 32nd inch sheeting top and bottom.
that's great.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
it.
That's cool.
So is that a full-size plan you have there, Dennis?
It was,
Okay.
but he used to, he had enough people asking him questions about it. And you can see at this iteration, it still had a pretty tall fin and everything like that. So this is a very old drawing. I don't know if
It's
I
an
didn't
older
go
one,
looking
for
for a
sure.
date on it, but it's gotta be late, maybe mid to late 60s or so.
Wow.
When he evolved away from the green box airplane and just, tweaked it up a little bit.
I like the way it changed the cow.
Yeah.
I like the cowl
Well,
too.
later
I'm
on,
gonna
he
try
had a little step in the bottom block and stuff like that too. He had the nose was kind of low and it had a little step up about there or so.
Oh yeah,
Watch is just a little raised up a little bit.
I forgot about it.
You see, it's even then he had a nice long piece of wire on the tail wheel. So tell you what, I'm going to take the share down. I'm going to look it over a little bit, see if I can find a date on it.
That's awesome. Thanks, Dennis.
Mhm.
that Nobler design really took off, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, in the 70s and 80s, everybody I knew that was young was trying to build that. Everybody was taking green box kits and trying to make square wingtips and square tails and monkeying with them. Everybody wanted a geese, and everybody used that same paint job, but nobody had it right, including me.
You know, my Heinz 57 land was the green box Nobler. Everybody thought the
Wow.
modified Thunderbird or a modified smoothie because I extended the wing to 56 inches and made it elliptical on the back side.
Does
Wow.
anybody know who's looks like a Formula S? Who? I mean, that's a beautiful airplane.
Oh, that's Greg Zajax.
Yep.
Let's see, it says the Zelkin Eagle. Oh no, it's American Eagle. It says on it.
Oh,
American Eagle was probably Kostecki's airplane.
There's my
Denny,
note.
is that you, Denny?
Yeah. Hang on a second here. Yeah, almost.
Did you say that's your Nobler, Bob?
No,
Yep.
yeah.
That's cool.
it
Very
looks
pretty.
like it looks like Robbie holding it.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know who this guy is, but there's Bob Giske and Steve Woolley.
Yeah.
And
All
I don't
right.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, hold it. That's Havey.
Saul Havey.
Yeah.
That's a gypsy.
Yeah, the red gypsy.
Yeah, it's a gypsy. That's right.
That was 67 too.
Mm-hmm.
With that
Right on the
team
back
trial.
of it, Sparky. See her.
Yeah, I looked at the back, but there's no this is in my 67 pile photograph, so
No, I'm saying right on the back of it so you remember who they are. Or somebody
Yeah,
else
could you
will
put up
later
that
on.
other picture again?
this one?
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely Kostecki's airplane.
Let's see.
Built about the same time as the Formula S. And that one actually got damaged in Detroit when he picked up the handle upside down.
Oh man.
There's the Blue
Seems
Angel.
like there's a lot of people who've done that.
Oh, it's a killer.
That's Larry.
Yeah, all right. By
And,
the way, what happened to Larry's airplanes?
His son has them, Patrick. He decided to keep them. I was going to try to get the Blue Angel and or the Trident into the AMA museum. I have to go through the nomination process. And I offered that to him and he said he'd let me know, but I think he really wants to keep those airplanes. And that's fine. You know, it's his son.
That's outstanding.
There's a fake twin.
Suarez.
Yeah, that was published, by the way.
Model airplane news.
1966.
I won my first contest against that airplane.
Wow.
I got the scores from back then too. Here's a real nice looking airplane. I like all these old jet airplanes from the 60s.
Me too.
I don't know whose that is.
Speak, Sparky. There we go. Wow, that's cool.
That one a
Jerry
Gunther's or
I don't know whose it is.
Huh.
These guys
It
were
looks like a Jerry Worth airplane, but
yeah, I think you're right. It was a Jerry Worth airplane.
And there's a Novi 3.
right.
Oh yeah.
And here's I don't know whose this is, but
That's Bambrooks, isn't it? Or is that Gunther's?
No,
Well, what's it called?
got a T-tail on it.
Is there a name?
it looks
On
like
it?
it's got tip plates or tip tanks or something
Yeah,
on it.
tip tanks. It's USA is all it's on the wing.
That was a
Oh,
popular
you know who that
name.
might be? Oh, I can't think of the guy's name. He did an exponential control system way back then. I can't think of his name.
Wasn't it not Fred Bockel?
Mockel. Yeah.
It doesn't look like. Don't
There's
remember
the
that.
shark.
Oh, Messer Shark.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Charlie
Wow.
Reeves. Charlie Reeves' airplane.
yeah.
That ever cool.
It was a
A
Humbler.
Messer shark.
Humbler, yeah.
A Messer shark. Oh,
I still have the
Organization.
old kind of photos back from back then.
Here's one for you. You've seen this airplane a little couple minutes ago. But it says 67, and that it couldn't have been. It had to be 66. I know that for a fact. And then I called. This was taken by Ty Marcucci, and he didn't have the film processed until the next year.
Mhm.
Oh.
Ah, that's what
There's
it
no
was.
possible way that could have been 67. That had to be 66.
Like the wing gear.
I was 5 then. I didn't even know what a model airplane was.
Yeah. Mhm. See what we got here.
Well, we're now at our normal
I know.
time to end the live stream, but the after party can go on. So if you're watching on there, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you Monday. Fairwinds, tight lines. See ya. Now you guys can hang out for the after party.
Good night, gentlemen.
Mhm.
Okay.
How do I do that?